Welcome, welcome, welcome. Happy Saturday morning. Listen, if you're joining us now or joining us on the recording, we were just listening to Most Def Bedside March, or what is it, Bedside Parade and Funeral March. Is so good. Go listen to it. Vanessa, I wanted to start with We Shall Not Be Moved. And it was Mavis Staples or Sweet Honey in the Rock. Cue that up for later. Irene, Sweet Honey in the Rock or Mavis Staples, whichever. But I was like, I kind of also want to start with The Revolution Shall Not Be Televised by Gil Scott-Heron. Right. And I was like, but I could just start with Most Def because it's kind of in the middle of that. It's kind of the same vibe as all of that. We shall not be moved and the revolution will not be televised. How are you doing today?
I'm doing great. Good morning. I actually just watched this really good old interview with Gil Scott-Heron where he was talking about the revolution will not be televised, and he was saying it so powerfully. He was saying, I actually was talking about the revolution inside, that you won't even notice it coming to yourself, that you will be in the midst of the transformation and the change and you won't even understand it, that we are looking outside of ourselves for the revolution, but so much of it is happening inside. It was a really good clip of him talking about it.
Girl, I didn't tell you because you was mad at me at the time a couple months ago. I met this white lady.
Don't say that. Well, I was mad at you.
You was. It's okay. It's okay to be mad. And it's even better when you forgive. So thank you for that too. But I went to this hair wrap party in South Carolina, and there was this white lady, and she was talking about
That's your second hair wrap party in South Carolina. Because we had our own hair wrap party in South Carolina at the very first ever GirlTREK organizer training. And we were in the house. Yes, we did. In South Carolina on the night that Barack Obama won his second presidency, GirlTREK officially launched with our first ever organizer training. And it was on the shores of South Carolina. And we had like 12 women there. And it was beautiful. And we did head wrapping.
Y'all get you a friend who could have your memories for you. That's so good. Vanessa, I forgot. Yes, it's my second hair wrapping party. But it was African hair wraps, and there was a white lady there. And I already had a secret attitude because I was like, come on, can we just, and she was talking a lot, okay, in the thing. And I was like, okay. But then after, she was an artist, and her art was real good. She was a photographer. And I went over, and I was like, ooh, this is so good. And she told me she was Gil Scott-Heron's ex. Like, she might be like Tina Marie where she got to get a pass. But I was just like, yeah, it's all complicated. It's all complicated. It's all complicated as a Black woman walking these streets. So whatever revolution you're in right now, stay in the fight, y'all. Stay in the fight. Oh, girl, I had to run and get these earphones for this call. And when I got to Target,
I didn't think you was going to make it. Wait, you really made it to Target that fast?
Yeah, because when you live in the suburbs, Target is on the corner. I ain't in Africa.
People don't know you back. People don't even know you back.
I'm in America. That's why I'm breathing so hard. I flew from Africa yesterday, and I was looking cute. I tried to go out last night. You know, I'm old. I went to sleep. Then I woke up. I ain't old. I'm young. But I woke up, and now I'm in the suburbs, and I realized I didn't have my earphones, and it sounds better when you have the earphones. So I told Vanessa. She called me 8:15, and I was like, I gotta go get some earphones. So I walked over to Target, and when I got there, this man who looked just like your papa, your grandpa, was working, and he wasn't trying to get rushed. And I was walking so fast. I was like, sir, I got a podcast in 3 minutes. And he just started laughing. He said, we're going to get you there in time for your podcast. We're going to get you there in time for your, and he was walking slow. You went and got the earphones. He said, just put your phone right there. Okay, we're going to do that. And I felt so happy. I was like, thank you, sir. Thank you for this. Thank you. Well, welcome to everyone. This is the most important liberation line we've had. Easily.
Yeah.
Because this is the liberation line where we get to organize. We get to organize around the issues. We get to hear from you what you thought the most impactful issues were over the last 10 weeks. We get to share our own motivations for voting. We are 12 days away from voting. I think 14 days. Just lying. Voting's in 2 weeks. Voting is in 2 weeks, y'all. And this is the last issue conversation we have. And the issue I want to talk about today, and Vanessa wants to talk about, is voting. The issue is voter suppression. And we've had so many issues, and we want to talk about this one as the last one, as a real call to action for all of you, all of us. And then next week, the Saturday before the election, somebody done raised this right.
2 Saturdays
we're gonna
before
have
the election.
Just kidding. Next weekend, 2 Saturdays
we got
before the
Latosha
election.
Brown on too, Morgan. She's going to come on from Black Voters Matter in a minute. She's going to have all the right information
Perfect.
for us. That's right. She's going to have it all. But yeah, next Saturday is the
Perfect.
26th, and then the Saturday after is November 2nd. We're going to be praying, and then it's going to be the election on the 5th.
She's telling me that not so I could stop talking, but because we couldn't reach Latosha, but we was like, we might have to do this by ourselves because this is how we roll.
Right.
Latasha's our homegirl, and she's very important in this society in this time. So we was like, maybe she could make it. She might be on the flight. We don't know, but we got it. So thank you for telling me that.
Right.
But I was framing this that next Saturday, over 1,000 of y'all in like 24 hours is sold out. Vanessa last Saturday was like, there's still some seats. There was barely no seats, but y'all done made it no seats, okay? But you can still come because, well, we're going to lock you out. But we're having a sunrise rally next Saturday. And then the following Saturday, we're going to have prayer. We're going to pray over this country. We're going to pray over our lives. We're going to pray over our children. And we are going to have the largest prayer vigil with hundreds of churches joining us live. So if your church is not signed up for it, look at the Friday email. Y'all, don't be on here and your church ain't walking and praying. Well, GirlTREK. All of the 1,000 women right here got a church home. Now, whether or not you're paying your tithes, this is the tithe. Do the work right now and then work on that over the next year. But I'm saying, get your church involved. How do you get your church involved, Vanessa?
That's a good question. In the Friday email, first of all, we send a link. Shout out to our VP of Organizing, Cynthia Thompson. She is hosting a special informational and organizing session, 2 of them on October 29th for churches. So all of the information is in the email where you can actually learn how to get your church involved. And then in the email on Friday, we've also started already a prayer request line. Morgan, we've heard from so many women around the country, so we're already taking prayer requests. And then on next Saturday,
y'all better click on rally. That. 1 million Black women praying for you.
It's public. It's beautiful. It's public.
You better come on. Y'all better pray for that. That's good. I'm about to put my request in.
Yes.
Can you imagine?
On Saturday, I can imagine. That's not only can I imagine, but this is how also GirlTREK started. We believe in chain emails. So the first ever email was like, "Don't let this movement stop in your inbox. Forward it on." And when you think about the power of prayer, and when you think about all of the people who we know in our lives who need prayer, and when you think about that, what we've been doing on these Saturday calls, and that we're going to come together on one day, we're going to open the line. You can share a prayer request. We have prayer warriors lined up who will be praying live. Like, yeah, I can imagine. I think it's going to be and can be the biggest thing GirlTREK has ever done.
All right. Like Barbara Walters, I'm about to summarize this for the new people. All right, y'all.
Right.
Welcome to GirlTREK. This is the largest health movement for Black women in the country. My name is Morgan. That's Vanessa. We are the co-founders, but we stand alongside thousands, 10,000 organizers who have committed to walk themselves, come back and get a sister, rally their allies and resources to liberate ourselves. We walk for joy and justice. So welcome. You are welcome. Whoever told you to dial in on this line, thank her. Thank her, because it just may have saved your life. We are a life-saving sisterhood, and today we're going to talk about voting so that we prepare for the monumental election that's happening in 2 weeks. Next week, we're gathering in person so we can talk about our joy and justice agenda for the next 10 years to increase the life expectancy of Black women by 10 years. In 10 years, the following Saturday, we've taken it to the throne, to the rock that's higher than us. We are gathering faith-based church communities and whatever faith. Listen, pray. We all have the same God of our foremothers. Come and pray with us. And we invite your church. We invite you. We invite prayer warriors to all walk the streets of Black neighborhoods and pray over them before this election. And then on election day, details are coming out this week. We are going to rally and lead walks to the polls. There will not be intimidation. Where 2 or 3 are gathered, we will stand in solidarity. We will bring our neighbors. We will bring our friends. We will bring our families. We will bring ourselves. If the lines are long, we will wait. If it's hard, we will make sure we register. We are going to do the things that are required to show up in a democracy. We will not sit this one out. We will not sit on the sidelines. So that instructions for how you lead a walk to the polls. So that's the next 2.5 weeks, y'all. I hope you're ready. I hope these 10 weeks done primed you. Vanessa, what's today's conversation about?
Ooh, it's about exactly what you said. And you and I were talking, we've been pre-gaming sometimes, y'all. It's about the fact that people are organizing right now to disenfranchise us. It's about the fact that traditionally and historically, there have been powers that be who have wanted to keep away our access. We already understand this. We understand what the Civil Rights Movement was about. We understand what the Voting Rights Act was about. But I don't think people understand that right now in today's age, that it is a challenge for people to show up. And I don't think that people believe and understand, Morgan, that when we do show up, that we have a plan and vision, which is what these 10 weeks have been about, us learning the things that matter to us, and also that we have a joy and justice agenda ourselves, GirlTREK, and a strategy and a plan. So we want to talk about it all today. But I think we could bring in Latosha right now. Yes.
Right before we bring on Latosha. Hey, Latosha. Right before we bring on Latosha. We done had all the experts. We done had D. Tarana, who is the founder of the Me Too movement. We done had D. Aisha, who was on the cover of Time magazine this month. We done had all, we done had all of the hard hitters. That's what I'm saying. And so I'm excited about this conversation. I want to prime the lines with this question, and I want to ask you, and I want to answer it. My question is why? Personally, why are you determined to vote this election? Like, what matters to you? Of the 10 weeks that we just talked about, which are the issues? Like, why are you personally voting? Like, what is your personal motivation to vote? So I'm going to ask you that, Vanessa. I'll answer it. Hit *9 to raise your hand. We're going to hear from Latosha, and then we're going to come back and open the lines. So, V?
It's a good question, Morgan, because I'm going to be very, very honest, first of all. I live in Washington, D.C., which is deeply enfranchised. We are 700,000 citizens. We pay taxes, I think the 4th level of taxes in the country if we were a state, and we do not actually have an electoral vote. And so there is statehood for DC. I just want to say that is my actual platform. And so when I think about the presidential election, there's always a little bit of like, does it even matter? Does my vote even matter here in Washington, DC? But it doesn't matter to me whether it matters or not, because I ain't never going to not vote on November the 4th. I ain't never going to not show up, because to me, it is an obligation. It is the price that I pay for the people who came before me. It is my grandma looking at me and saying, I know you know how you was raised. And sometimes we do things for certain reasons. And for me, this is a no-brainer. I'm just like, it is a no-brainer to me. The blood, the sacrifice, the tears, the sweat, the organizing, the generations of disenfranchisement that got to this point. And I vote, and I'm going to vote because the people before me fought so that I could.
Which of the issues moved you the most, V, that you really want to pay attention to that we've talked about?
Yeah, it's a very good question. I was really moved by Fox Rich and our conversation around all of our sisters who are justice and incarcerated involved. And even if you think about that as one of the ways that they have actually disenfranchised us, to say so-and-so got a record, so-and-so ain't paid his child support, so-and-so ain't did this. So all of a sudden we don't have our actual right and a voice around this. So it's deep what's happening. And I'm thinking about our peoples right now who are locked up and behind bars and who aren't going to be able to walk to the polls, but they need us, especially everybody. One of us got a cousin somewhere. They need us to show up and express our vote for them. So I'm especially thinking about those folks right now, Morgan. I'm personally moved, and we haven't really talked about it specifically on this liberation line, but I am every day thinking about the reproductive rights of women, and especially Black women. I believe in body autonomy. I believe that this country has tried to from chattel slavery to denying us access to not listening to us in the hospitals. I think they have tried to control our bodies. And I just feel powerfully that every single woman has a right to choose, and especially should be able to choose when she wants to become a mother. I think as somebody who was raised by a woman who maybe shouldn't have had me when she had me, I am telling you that it is a real deal out there to force people into motherhood. And so it's a deep issue for me. I'm thinking about that. I'm thinking about everything, Morgan. Food justice. I'm thinking about the conversation we had with survivors. Yeah. What about you?
I loved everything you just said. And I was moved by the first conversation when you were with George Floyd's family. I was thinking about, I watched a documentary last night on Amazon Prime called All In. I recommend every single person watch that. It was about the gubernatorial race with Stacey Abrams in Georgia. It's called All In. It's about voter suppression. Y'all, one of the things she said on there is after slavery, the powerful were trying to figure out how to convert the system of slavery into other systems that oppressed so they could stay in power. So whether that is prison, whether that is terror and Jim Crow in the South or all over, or whether that is a police force that literally chokes out people in the street in terror and violence. And so I'm voting because ain't none of that right. I'm voting because as I was preparing for this week, y'all, we're going down to the TED conference. We are lifting our agenda up in front of some of the most powerful people in the world. I cannot wait to tell you about it. Please read your emails this week. I was preparing for those conversations, Vanessa, and I was going back to do my daughter's of story. And I am Morgan, daughter of Carol, but my great-grandmother is Caroline Woodyard. My great-grandmother carries the name Woodyard from a plantation that's on the Potomac River. My great-grandmother carries the name Woodyard from a plantation that was owned by the founding fathers of this country. One of the people who owned my ancestors was in the Continental Congress and wrote the Declaration of Independence, but still saw fit to go to Baltimore Harbor and buy my sixth great-grandmother that came from Ghana. And what I am telling y'all is I am America, that we done fought and died in the American Revolution, in the War of 1812, in the Civil War. We have died and fought in the Spanish-American War, in both World Wars II, and I draped my own uncle in an American flag because he fought in Vietnam. America ain't never been America to us. That's what Langston Hughes done said. But it will be, is what he said, but it will be. And so as the daughters of the real revolution, I'm voting because this is my country. This is my country. And so I'm asking all of y'all to vote with us. Let's bring our guests on. Raise your hand. Somebody backing up in a truck. I don't know who neighborhood it is, but we're building.
It's my neighborhood, but I can't be on mute because I want to give Latosha her due in terms of like actually introducing her. Latosha, are you on the line?
I'm here. Can you hear me?
We can hear you, sister. Where are you calling in from this morning?
I am calling from my neighborhood. Let me tell you something. Before we go any further, listen how I know that this movement works, because you all got me out here walking and talking, and this is the first time that I've gone walking in my neighborhood this entire year since I moved over to my new house. So it works, sister. I just want to say that.
Come on, that is a victory. That is a victory. That is a victory. We're so happy to have you, and I want to introduce you for the women who do not know who you are. It's been one of our greatest pleasures that over the last 10 years of building this movement, Morgan and I have been able to be in community with women like you. We are a cohort of leaders who are also out here trying to navigate how we show up and do the work and how we carry the load, and we do it in community and learn from each other. And so I'm so grateful that you made the time to join us today, because I know you are in demand in this season. For those who do not know Latosha, she is the co-founder of Black Voters Matter. She is a visionary. You received the Miss Foundation's Women of Vision Award and many others. You're an author. You are an activist. I did not know you were a singer. I kind of was like, God, is she gonna sing or something? I was like, what are you singing? Please let us know. She is a singer, and you've dedicated. Maybe you could do the Mavis Staples for us, the Sweet Honey in the Rock.
We shall not be moved. We shall not forget. Yeah, that's good. That's good. That's good.
And you've dedicated your career to social justice and creating better opportunities for Black Americans through political empowerment, economic development, leadership development, wealth creation. And I just want to thank you, Latosha. If there's something I missed in your bio, if there's like, who are you the daughter of? Let people know why you are here, why it even on a Saturday morning in the midst of your busy schedule, you wanted even to make the time to join us on this call.
Well, the first thing I did right was the day I started to fight. Keep your eyes on the prize and hold on, hold on. You know, I am in the spirit. I am the daughter. And I am the granddaughter of Nellie Gamble, who taught me that song and used to sing that song in Alabama, and the daughter of Rosetta Brown, and the great-great-granddaughter of Anna Gamble. And Mary Lynn Brown. And so, I think what brought me to this work, I wanted to sing that song because that is actually it's a song called Eyes on the Prize that was a part of the Freedom Song. And growing up in Selma, I had access to people who had been in the movement and learned that song. Well, really, I learned that song not out of the traditional movement space. I learned that song in my home with my grandmother, who would just sing. She would sing and pray. She more than anything I ever saw her do, she was constantly in prayer. And I remember asking my grandmother, and it's coming to me today, I would ask my grandmother, I'm like, Mama, why you pray? I called her Mama. I was like, Mama, why you pray all the time? I was like, she does talk to God all the time. And she used to say, I'm storing up my prayers in heaven for my children, for you. And I promise y'all, my grandmother has been gone over 20 years. And I promise y'all, I know that I am riding and protected off her prayers. I can't tell you how I know, how I feel it, but I feel her spirit. But I know she stored the prayers up, and I am a living witness and a beneficiary of those prayers. And so, part of the work with the only other thing I would add is, in addition to Black Voters Matter, I founded an organization that is my heart, which is Southern Black Girls and Women's Consortium. And so we're a network it's a $100 million initiative, a network in 13 states, from North Carolina all the way over to Texas. And our goal is to actually help support what is a Black girl's dream and create the conditions in which those dreams manifest. And so far we have funded organizations in all 13 states. We've invested more than $6 million. I've raised more than $20 million. Just amazing. It's really my heart's work, and our theme for our work, our container, is our joy is our journey. So what brings me to this
Vanessa, that's when I started talking to Latosha. Remember that conversation, Latosha? It was like 2 years ago.
Yes.
We're talking about the Waymaker Fund, because Vanessa, Vanessa and I, I want to bring all you in the conversation. Vanessa and I have been talking for so long about how we bring funding directly to Waymakers, to change makers. And everybody was like, you've got to talk to Latosha. And I was like, girl, I've been a member. Why are you playing? I'm a member of GirlTREK. I was like, what? I was like, you're so famous, though. You're so famous. And she was like, listen, let us support. You said something so powerful, sister. You say you don't need to go ask nobody else for support. She said, let us be your first round of support. And I remember that. And I was like, dang, that's a different posture. I was like, that's a powerful posture, sister. And I really do. I appreciate it. And we will take you up on it. And we do have everything we need. We don't have to ask permission. We have the resources we need, and we're attracting the resources that we deserve. And so I really did appreciate that conversation. Yeah. Thank you.
Thank you. I think I so love this space and this movement because ultimately that's even the work what I do with Southern Black Girls and for Black Voters Matter, that what we have to really see ourselves, we have to stop seeing ourselves just as citizens of this nation. We got to start seeing ourselves and thinking of ourselves as founders of a new nation. So we have to really take on the mindset, the character, and the actions of being founders of the nation that we desire and that we deserve. And what does that mean? That means that we've got to do some institution building. That part of what happens is every election cycle, I'll say this even with just my work in election cycles, every election cycle, I get these questions around, are Black women going to save democracy or saving America? That's not our goal. Our goal, and that's not our responsibility. Our goal and responsibility literally is to save ourselves and our communities. It's to protect, it's to move forward, to advance, and then what comes out of that.
Latosha, we call that step one of the Tubman Doctrine at GirlTREK. It is never ask permission to save your own life. Go now in the direction. We are here. It is so paramount that we understand this, that our lives are worth saving, that we can be the mission, that our extended life expectancy, joy, and what it can just stop there. It doesn't have to even benefit other people. We don't have to be in service of other people all the time and not be in service of ourselves.
Amen. I mean, I think that's part of the key. I think as women, what we have, God has given us, I think we got this extra gene because we do have the capacity to create and build communities. We are nation builders. And I want us to think about that. Like we have to see ourselves as nation builders. And so we take care of people around us, that's an expectation. But first and foremost, like, it is righteous for us to stand in this space and take care of ourselves. And so even when I'm talking to people about voting, I don't even really talk about voting from the perspective of, yes, you should vote because people died for us and did the work and our ancestors. Yes, all of that is true. But I really want people to center this idea of voting in that if anybody's making a decision about you and your community, you need to be a part of that decision-making process. Voting is really about you embracing your own humanity and operating on your agency. You have to use every single tool available to us to actually shape and create the kind of world we want to live in. And so I just believe that with righteous action, it comes a righteous result. And so we have to keep pushing and believe. We believe when other folks don't believe. We believe that we have the audacity to believe. I have the audacity to believe that my work is going to help change this nation and ultimately change the world. I have the audacity to believe that literally not in the system. I'm not asking people to believe in a system that has been racist and unjust and marginalized us. But what I'm asking people to do is to believe in yourself and your own power. And when you operate in your own power, your agency, the universe will conspire with you. And so that's part of my work and the foundation of my belief around getting people to vote, because what we know, as long as we're in this system, as long as we're currently under, we're in this nation, that the truth of the matter is all of the policies, that every aspect of our lives is impacted by policy. You can't be born without getting a birth certificate. That's a policy. You can't get access to medicine. You can't get your how much you get paid, your contract, what you do, your wages. Every single aspect of our lives in this nation is governed on some level or touched by policy. So if there are policies that are touching your lives, there shouldn't be any other discussion. You ain't gonna make no decision about me and I don't have some input about it. That's just not gonna happen. And so we really got to see that ultimately that when we're voting, it is not about the process itself. It's not just about participation, because sometimes folks are like, well, you got to participate. That's true. And that's somebody's argument around it. That's not mine. Mine goes beyond. It's not about participation. It's about power. And so Black women have to literally stand into it, that this is one tool of many tools that we have to use to build power in our communities, to hold people accountable who are making policies in our communities. And sometimes you got to take folk out. If they come for your community, there got to be a consequence. You can't just stay and be in a position of leadership and say negative things about us or negative things about human beings, or literally do harmful things to us and you not be held to account. That if you come for me, I'm coming back for you. And so ultimately, we got to also use the vote as a tool to hold folks accountable. We have to use voting as a tool, as a harm reduction tool. What does that mean? That means that at the end of the day, that I have my aunt who raised me is 91 years old, that literally her Social Security matters to her, right? She needs that. How she gets her care, she needs that. That when we're talking about medicine and the cost of medicine, she needs that. So at the end of the day, that we've got to literally fight for ourselves, but I do think that we're fighting for others. We've got to vote for our children until they can vote for themselves. We got to vote for our elders because they deserve that. They deserve for us to fight for them at every single moment. And then we got to vote for ourselves because we want power.
Let me ask you a question, Latosha. Yes, yes, and yes to every single thing you just said. I stopped saying yes because I was like, I don't want them to miss a word. I need these sound bites so people get in people's ears. I don't want anybody to miss a word, but yes and yes. And I have a question. So just a reminder, hit *9 to raise your hand if you're going to tell us why you are voting. If you have any reflection on the last 10 weeks, what issue meant the most to you, or if you just want to say, what's up to Latosha, listen. Raise your hand and we will bring you on in just 1 second. My question for you, we always like to wrap these conversations up with pragmatic advice. And you're talking about the power of a vote. And I have been thinking so hard since, so I don't know, I think I talked to you before we bought Dr. King's building down in Montgomery, but we bought Dr. King's building down in Montgomery, and we have spent so much time in Selma, so much time in Montgomery where people died trying to vote, right? And so we have those images in our head, but I think we think it's over. And I honestly, I thought it was just kind of an honorary thing, but I did not realize the level of voter suppression that's happening right now, like that you have to have particular IDs in some states, that college students can't vote if they're away from home in some states with their college ID, that elders who never even got an ID because they didn't get a birth certificate because hospitals are segregated when they were born. All of these things, I was when I was watching that documentary, I was like, wow, can you, like, this is happening now. This is why voter records being purged, records being purged, where you go to the polls and they say, sorry, you can't do it, or disenfranchisement with people who are have felonies, like all these sorts of things to get hundreds, thousands, millions of people purged from the records. And some of these votes are coming down to 100, 200,000 votes. And I'm telling you, as a million Black women here, how do we make sure that we can vote in 2 weeks? What do we need? How do we make sure that our communities are not disenfranchised? What are some of the like they're closing polling places? Like, what are some of the things we can do now? What if you had to give us a prescription? All right, write this down, sisters. Do this now to make sure you can vote. What do you say?
So we've got 2 weeks, and for most states, with the exception of states like I think Michigan and a few others, you have to have been registered already. So the first thing for you to do is make a vote plan, but check your status. Don't take it for granted that, oh, I voted last time and I'll be able to vote. What we are seeing, to your point, is there's been massive voter purges. There's states like Georgia and others. I will say we actually sued, Black Voters Matter. We sued the state of Georgia a few years ago because they dropped 200,000 voters. Ironically, one of the voters that was dropped was actually Dr. King's cousin, who was almost 80 years old, who had never missed a time voting and since she had become of age. Yet she was dropped erroneously, and we sued because we realized of those 200,000 votes, we actually had a data partner, a large data partner that does data for businesses and big corporations to double check this list. And over 90,000 of those names, people never should have been dropped. And then once they've been dropped, although we got them, we sued, and actually in the settlement of the lawsuit, the onus of registering was back on the people who were erroneously dropped. So that's what we're dealing with, and that's happening all over the country. Voter suppression takes kind of three forms. One, it's around how the process is weaponized, that the administrative process is weaponized and becomes an additional barrier. Two, where there's some new law or rule that seems like it's harmless, but really actually impacts people and makes it more difficult to access voting easily. And then the third thing is around the culture of fear and chaos and confusion. And so all of those three things have been really the strategies that have been used in voter suppression. What people can do now with these 2 weeks, for the sisters that are on this phone, number one, go check your status. You can go to our website, blackvotersmatterfund.org, but if you need I know we're walking and exercising and getting fit and fine out here, remember vote.org or vote.gov. Right, so go to vote.org or vote.gov and check your status. You can also determine where it is that you are to vote. The second thing is, because I think to take care of yourself, I want you to make sure that you can vote right now. It's to early vote. Georgia, North Carolina, a couple other states, early voting has already started. Georgia and North Carolina, if my sisters from Georgia and North Carolina, sisters, you are key. You literally will make the difference in this election cycle. I am convinced it will be the work and the political will of Black women that will make the difference in this election cycle. I am clear about that. So we have to turn out in record numbers and overwhelm that. Part of dealing with voter suppression is that when you have these close races, these close margins, it makes it, there are other elements that they do with voter suppression. For example, there was an attempt in Georgia to delay the certification of the results. Well, a lot of that can literally, you can make it more difficult if we're overwhelming the vote and we have such a large margin that it's hard for the seal, because part of a strategy is death by 1,000 cuts. Shave off a few votes here, shave off a few votes there, which is why we actually need your vote to amplify, which is the third piece. The third piece is, sisters, we are multipliers. That's who we are. We are amplifiers, we are multipliers, we are organizers. you should personally be responsible for getting 10 votes. That if you voted early this week in North Carolina, Georgia, that's good, sisters. Every day, literally get people to vote. And you would be amazed that how many people that I've run into that said nobody asked them. That something as simple of between now and Election Day, if every single person that you meet, if you can ask them, have you voted already? Like, get the information and really be able to share the information. This is organizing time. This is power building time. So don't take for granted that people have voted, even folks that you know around you, your neighbors, your friends, your church members, your girls. Just ask folks a simple question. Have you voted already? And depending on their answer, encourage them to vote. That's what you can do. The fourth thing that you can do is get involved. This ain't the moment, y'all. We in a street fight. If somebody coming at your family, your girls, what you gonna do? Listen, you got to get them up off. Like, look, we gonna get you up off of. And so part of the way that you can do that is like literally try to organize, to use this space to organize. Now, I know everybody's not going to be in the streets organizing, going door to door, doing those things. Many of you all probably are, but if you don't have the time to do that, there is a way that you can join the campaign. We do Texting Tuesdays. Every Tuesday, we have hundreds of people to join us to actually send out thousands of texts, and it's actually fun. We have different text parties. We had a text and tea. We had a text and mimosas. We have like a really good text and tacos. So you can join us. Black Voters Matter Fund. You can join us to actually.
I definitely want to go to
be a
text
part
and
of Texas.
tacos.
Yes, you got to text and tacos. You got to do text and tacos.
Like it's genius. Yes. You better teach us how to organize this. So you better teach us.
The last thing that I'll say, because for the sake of time to call, is you can text if you want to know what events are happening. We've got what we call the blackest bus in America that are running around because we're in these streets. We are working in 20 states in this election cycle. I will tell you what a vision will do. God gave us a vision 7 years ago. We walked away from our jobs. We had nothing. Right, but we had this vision and had the audacity that we're going to start a fund. Like, how you going to start a fund and you ain't got no money? Because God. Like, how you going to do this work and deal? Because God. And so, as a result, in the last 7 years, we've been able to invest over $50 million to Black-led grassroots groups. That means that we have given away $50 million, over $50 million to Black grassroots groups on the ground that are doing power building work. And so we are building a movement as well. And if you have an organization, a civic group, that particularly in the targets in the battleground states where we're working, you can go on our website and see the larger states. Reach out to us, blackvotersmatterfund.org, and you can find out about our campaign. If the blackest bus in America is coming to you, because we're going to be in Detroit. We're going to be in Detroit and Benton Harbor today. We are in these streets. You can text us. Text We Matter to 25225. We Matter to 25225. So that's some of the stuff that we can do.
That question. I'm so glad you answered that question. You nailed it. We need to play that from every bullhorn in every neighborhood. And sister, when we share this recording, and I will be sure to share it with you on Monday, share it out with your friends for practical advice. As you are out already in these streets, walking, smiling, greeting your neighbors as we do, ask the simple question, have you voted yet? If you can vote early, and then share it out on social media and challenge other people to get it in early. I love all of this. Call your friends. And I love the one thing you said is be responsible for 10 votes. Whether you got to knock on your neighbor's door to the left or the right, be responsible for 10 votes. I love that.
Take 10 to win. We're going to say 10 to win. So put it in your head. 10 to win. And of all the voter suppression, like at the end of the day, what suppression is that pressure? Let me tell you, the only difference between a piece of coal and a diamond is a diamond has been under extreme pressure and it's been transformed. And we know a diamond. So here it is, a piece of coal. You put some pressure on it, it accepts that pressure, and it actually transforms from the inside out. It becomes a brilliant piece of diamond. And I'm saying that because I want the sisters that are out here, don't just focus on the voter suppression or the anger or the things that they're doing to take it from us. Also use your radical reimagination of understanding what is possible and use use your vote as one tool to actually start positioning your community to create this vision that really is a part of our joy is our journey. That's really a part of that's going to take us to the next level. And what I can tell you is that when you have a dark room and all you do and you crack that glass, you just put a little crack in that room, you put a little crack in that foundation, and a little bit of light comes in the room, the entire character of the room changes. So we've got to celebrate this moment because we've created, Black women, sisters, we've created this moment. This is our moment to show up and show out. So thank you all for having me on here. Listen, sisters, if somebody asks any of you why you vote, just say, because I deserve power. That's it, point blank, period. You ain't got to say nothing else. Why I voted? Because I deserve power.
Yes. We love it. We love it. Thank you so much.
My girlfriend actually just sent me a picture. I just want to shout out to Tina because she just sent me a picture. She's in Detroit. She said Black Voters Matter. She just sent me a picture of the bus. It's out there in these streets so people are seeing your work with us. So I just want to shout that out. And I want to say that while we were on this call, Regina Speed signed up her church, like literally Elder Regina Speed signed up her church for the National Church Group call. So we are really organizing in real time on this phone call. Latosha, you are such a blessing. You have been so precise in your prescription to the women today. I'm so grateful for you.
Thank you, sisters. This little light of mine, I'm going to let it shine. Let it shine, let it shine, let it shine. Come on, sisters, we the light bearers. Thank you. I love y'all.
Thank you. I love you too. Thank you so much. All right, love all around. Vanessa, I love you. Callers, we love you. Are there any callers on the line? Let's open it up. We have a few minutes. Oh, I just looked at my time. It was 44:44. That means that's divine, y'all. Yes. So 44
we will
minutes
be having a civil rights sing-along at the rally if y'all ain't signed up. I know Morgan said the RSVP is close, but like y'all, you can still come. We can have a
No, I didn't. I said still come.
Okay, still come. Yes, we're going to be out in the parking lot singing This Little Light of Mine. I just want to let you know, all in sync, we're going to be singing.
I'm bringing my guitar, Vanessa. Forget it. I know I'm supposed to learn
God, please. Oh, we need some tambourines. I hope Zaria's on this line. We definitely need some tambourines at the rally.
It's a fan. Yes.
It's a fan.
All right. I think we have a caller on. Hello, who are you? What's your name? What are you calling about? And tell us what's been inspiring these 10 weeks or why you vote.
Hi, this is Gloria Glinda from North Carolina. And you all have said all the words this morning already, but I am so inspired by Latosha because I was born and raised in Alabama. And what has inspired me is my parents paying poll taxes to vote, taking all those crazy tests to vote. And I would never not vote in any election because I do vote because I deserve the power. I'm a solo walker in North Carolina, and we have already started early voting. I volunteer as an observer at the polls, and we have already had over 4,000 people vote at one polling place in North Carolina, Johnson County, and we have 9 polling places in one county. So people are showing up. And I want to make certain that all of our sisters and brothers listen to what is at stake here and show up to vote because people are coming out of the woodwork. And I just want to say, Vanessa and Morgan, you all are fantastic. You're fantastic. And I thank you for this movement. It is definitely not a moment. It's a movement. Thank you.
Oh, thank you, Auntie. Wow. Thank you so much. And for your family service. And for your service as a volunteer observer and poll worker. And thank you so much for what you're doing in North Carolina. It's a battleground there. So I really do appreciate it. Yes. Thank you so much.
Thank you, ladies. So much. And I'll see you on Saturday.
Oh, you're coming. Please give us a
I am.
Oh, God is so good.
Bring your guitar.
Thank you.
Your musical instrument, please. Okay.
Somebody got a harmonica. Is awesome. I know somebody got a harmonica. Yes.
Thank you, ladies. So you all are fantastic.
Thank you. All right, let's take another caller. Ooh, there's a lot of people on the line. On the main line. Well,
I
I
want
can't
to
wait.
shout out. I just got a photo, Morgan, from Yolanda. She said that they are out there with the first Blue Brigade, Renata, and they're all on the call, and they're all out there walking. This is a powerful grassroots activation of women who are literally getting trained right now so that we can start going door to door to circle up, to deliver care, to take care of our neighbors. We are out deep in these streets in such beautiful ways. I just wanted to lift up their work.
Yes, we have a group that we're calling the Blue Brigade. It's going to be coming to your neighborhood soon. They are mental health first aid workers, where they knock on the door and just say, "Sister, are you okay?" And if you ain't, they can be a powerful listener. They can be a powerful referral system. They can walk and talk with you. It's called the Blue Brigade. They're highly trained. And shout out to our organizers, Renata, I love you so much. Yolanda, I love you so much. Cynthia, I love you so much. All of our field team, thank you so much for the work you're doing and for this divine preparation that you have for this mission. All right, we got another caller. What's your name, sister?
Hello?
Are you there?
Can y'all hear me?
Yes.
Hey, good morning. I'm Sharon, walking in St. Louis, and everything's already been said, but the one thing I will say is I vote because I can, and I will. That's it. That's it.
Yes, that's right. Listen, because I'm going to tell you something. What you said is so powerful because so many of us have experienced illness, physical illness, gripping anxiety, mental, like real depression where we could not even get out of the bed sometimes. And y'all, what you just said, sister, is real. If you have the capacity, to get up and especially even to walk to your polling place, they're trying to shut them down in our neighborhoods, but to especially walk, you better praise them every step of the way there. And stand, if you have the capacity to stand in those lines, like that is a beautiful thing. It is why we get healthy, so that we can activate when we need to. So I loved that point so much. Thank you for calling in.
Amen. Thank you.
Woo, Vanessa. Thank you. All right, let's take one last call. One last call. We'll wrap it up, V. This has been great.
Yes, it has been.
Uh-oh, do we have somebody?
That was the people walking by me, I think. Oh, true.
Oh, hi.
Good news.
Yes,
day.
what's your name? Hi, Jay.
I am beautiful and I'm from the Bronx. Oh, thank you so much for this day. Why I vote? I vote because I'm not going back. Like, as a Black woman in America,
Come on.
I'm not going back. And I just keep hearing them talk about making it great again. I don't want to be that again. I don't want to be a great slave again. I vote because I have to be a part of the power that stops the criminalization of Blackness. And I feel like a Black woman in America, it is so conflicting. For me, I want to be proud to be an American, but it's real difficult. So I look forward to having someone in the White House who can help me to feel proud of the conflict that I face every day here in America. I'm not going back. So I'm going to vote with the power that I have so that I can keep moving forward. Thank you so much for this platform. I'm so grateful and I'm so thankful to be able to vote. And I'm not going back. And that's why.
Oh my God, I love this.
Amen.
Yes, Jay.
Amen.
Yes, I love this community. Jay said, listen, I'm not going back to being a great slave. It's the best line ever. We ain't doing that no more. You don't get no more free labor. You don't get no more docility, whatever the word is. We ain't being docile. We ain't doing none of that. None of that. None of that. So thank you so much, Vanessa, Latosha. Yes. High five to both of you. Yes. I love you both. Let's wrap this up. Yeah. Go ahead, sister.
I love these sisters on this call. Like, this is what we do in community. I love y'all. Like, I want us to also celebrate this moment, to actually realize, like, we have created this moment. We, sisters, it has been our work, it's been our blood, it's been our sweat and tears. We have created this moment. And so I'm just so grateful to God. I'm so grateful that you all have created this space for us to be in community together. I am so grateful for the sisters that are live on this day and are able to join this call from wherever they are. I'm so grateful for the sisters that may not be able to get out to walk right now because they're not feeling well, but they're on this call because they want to be in community. I'm so grateful for the sisters that literally are taking care of people in their household. You might be taking care of an elderly parent. You might be taking care of a child or your grandchild like me. You know, I'm so grateful for the sisters that day in and day out, you believe and push through everything that wants to make you think that you don't have power, but you have enough God in you, enough belief in you, enough fight in you that you got the audacity to believe that we're going to change this nation to be what we desire and we deserve. So thank you all so much for having me.
I'm on the street corner with my hands in the air. Just want to let you know. These people looking at me like, what's going on with this lady? But I got my hands in the air to the sky. Just want to let you know. Touch and agree, y'all. Touch and agree.
Latosha, what's your website one more time for people who need the information?
Go to blackvotersmatterfund.org or just text. The easy way that'll text you, text We Matter to 25225. Text We Matter to 25225. Come get down with the Blackest Bus Around. Come down, get down with us. We are canvassing, we're texting, we're in these streets. Like this week alone, we're going to hit 200,000 doors. So come to share with us. So thank you so much. Thank you, sisters.
Listen, it's official. When you used to look back at the civil rights movement, it used to be like SCLC, SNCC, CORE, you know, all the Southern Christian Leadership Conference. That's the SCLC. I can't think of nobody else. The Black Panther Party.
NAACP.
NAACP. Yes. All of them people used to be working together. And I used to be like, how do they know how they coordinate like this? And look at us now. We got Me Too, we got Black Voters Matter,
right.
we got us, we got you, we got everybody who's been on this line working in solidarity. I am grateful.
Amen.
God, I am grateful. So we're going to do our work. Thank you so much. Any final words, V?
Nope, we're going to close out on some rain down on me because I'm praying that God rains blessings down on us and that he just rains possibility and abundance down on us and that we just understand that we have the power, y'all.